Hey, welcome back everybody. I got another spring training video here. It's a spring training system video. I've been using this system for years and I've always had a winning season, and I wanted to talk about it and I wanted to give you the picks for today and also explain the system and tell you exactly how to figure it out for yourself. And I'm also going to talk about the differences between this year compared to previous years. But overall, guys, thank you so much for checking out the channel. I'm Coach, and if you're new here, well, what we try to do here is find winners that we can exploit for maximum profitability. If that sounds like something you can get down with, well, definitely consider subscribing. All right, let's talk about this thing. Well, first off, let me tell you the theory of this particular system. Every good system has a theory. And this system, basically what it does is it targets the playoff teams from last year. So we're assuming that if you made the playoffs last year and you come into spring training, you are going to be overvalued. And that's good and all. However, during spring training, they don't play their starters all the innings. They don't play. So by the time they pull their starters, then all of a sudden the other teams, the bad teams, well, they more than likely have the better farm system because they've been rough for a while. And then that's where we can take advantage of getting some wins. So what we do is we take the +1.5. Let me go ahead and just give you the system parameters. All right, so to look at, if you're looking at the schedule, you have to ask yourself, did the home team make the playoffs last year? If they did not make the playoffs last year, then you just move on to the next game. You just crossed off the list. If they did make the playoffs last year, if the home team did make the playoffs last year, you can put a little check by it, but we got to keep going. Now, did the opposing team, like the visiting team, did they make the playoffs last year? If they did not, well, that's another check for the system. If they did make the playoffs, well, then you just X off that game and move on. Okay, and then is this a split squad game? If it's a split squad game, then you just X off the list. You move on to the next one. And is the game played in the preseason? I mean, obviously it's spring training, right? So that's it. I mean, that's what you're looking for. And believe it or not, it's that simple. Some of the best systems are the simplest systems. Now, what makes this thing different from years past is, well, we had way more playoff teams last year. It was easier to just identify a couple playoff teams last year, and it kind of limited the plays. But last year we had they added more playoffs, or added more playoff teams, and then this year they have these weird rules where if one pitcher gets too big of a pitch count, they just call the inning and move on to the next inning, or they can just stop at the sixth inning. It's weird, and that's not what this system was built on. So you have to be careful with those kind of things because, I mean, it's unpredictable. So, like, this is what I'm trying to say is don't go full hardcore on this system only because we don't know with these new parameters, with the new things that got going on in MLB, if this is a winning system. So, and I'm just going to be straight up and honest with you. I'm a little worried myself, but I'm going to continue to plug along here and just see how this thing goes. But that's pretty much what it is. Like, I expect full 9 innings, and we're not getting that. We're getting sometimes 6 innings, sometimes 7 innings. Yesterday, it worked out in our favor. We had the Rangers and the White Sox were rallying on the Rangers, and then they just stopped it. And they're like, okay, well, there's only 2 outs, but the pitch count got too high, so let's go ahead and call the inning and move on to the next inning. Well, that worked out for us, but, I mean, that's not how it's been in the past. So, overall, I hope I explained that better, and it's pretty simple, guys. And I'm telling you, it's 444 to 212, up almost 73 units. It's good for like 67%, which is enough to defeat all the juice that you're going to be taking here. And what I do is I bet 1 unit. I bet to risk 1 unit, not to bet to win 1 unit. Okay. All right. So let's get into this thing. Let's go ahead and talk about the plays today. And here it is. All right, we got the Red Sox +1.5. Now, all these games, the juice, or I should say the odds, actually haven't come out yet on the books. So I don't have the odds to give out for you right now. But Red Sox +1.5, Orioles +1.5, Pirates +1.5, Mets plus 1.5, Mariners plus 1.5, Diamondbacks plus 1.5. And as you can see, all of those are road teams this today, and they're all playing playoff teams. So, and this is actually the most games I've ever seen this system produce in one day. Like I said, sometimes you're just going to have stuff like that, and that's because there were so many playoff teams last year. So just be careful. I'm just telling you how it is. This is different. Anyway, if you have any questions, leave a comment down below or join the private group and reach out to me. But that's it, guys. Thank you so much for checking out this thing. I'm going to keep updating this every single day throughout spring training. I can tell you for a fact this system does not work during the regular season, and that's mainly because in the regular season they play full 9 games or full 9 innings with all their starters. So of course the better teams are going to have the bigger advantage there. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video. Peace.